What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to my 2023 NBA All-Star voting for the starters. This just went live yesterday. You can vote, I think, through the NBA app and on vote.nba.com. I'm going to be giving you guys the 10 players that I think should start in the 2023 All-Star game. I don't believe that you can also vote the bench players, so we're just going to be voting 10 players in today. Remember, this is just my opinion. The All-Star game is very subjective. It's not as kind of deserving, I would say, as the All-NBA teams. Team success doesn't really go into a lot of this. It's really, are you putting up good statistical numbers, and are you entertaining to watch? Because that's what the All-Star game is all about, entertainment. So, if you guys want to let me know your starters down below, or just maybe tweet me a picture on Twitter, the link to my Twitter is in the description. I'd love to take a look at who you guys have in it as well. So, without further ado, we can get right into it. All right, so we could start off in the Eastern Conference, and boy, oh boy, it's tough. So these are the players that are listed as guard eligible on NBA's website. I think there's one guarantee in my opinion, and that's Donovan Mitchell. He's having an incredible season for the Cleveland Cavaliers, averaging just below 30 points per game. He's been efficient. He's helped them to have one of the better records in the Eastern Conference, but I'm going to backtrack on myself. Record does not really matter for the All-Star game, but he has just had some crazy single game performances as well, and he is an All-Star starter in my opinion. Now, a couple of these other guys have dealt with their fair share of injuries. Kyrie Irving was suspended by the Nets. You've had LaMelo injuries. You have had Harden injuries. You've had Darius Garland injuries, DeJounte Murray injuries, Tyrese Maxey injuries as well. And Maxey's almost averaging 23 points. So Kyrie, I think what he's done on the floor is in consideration. I do think it comes down between Trae Young and Jaylen Brown. And it's really tough to see who deserves it because Young is averaging more points and more assists, but he's the number one option. Like, Brown is doing this all as the number two, and the Celtics are one of the better teams in the league, and you're also getting good defensive play out of Brown. So this is where I think philosophy just hurts me here, because this should be the exciting player. I think that is Trae Young, but in my opinion, it should go to Jaylen Brown because he's doing it on both sides of the floor. The Celtics are one of the better teams in the league, so I think he's helping out his team's success in that regard, and I think Brown is deserving of that second guard spot. I think the only other person you can really consider right now is Trae, maybe Kyrie as well. DeRozan, I'm surprised he's listed as a guard, but I guess that makes sense. He could be up there. And then I don't think anybody else really can make an argument. I mean, I don't think you can have Mitchell and Garland in here. Maxey and Harden have missed time, so they're tough. Halliburton's been great, but he's more of a reserve candidate than a starter. So Brunson, he's been great, but like I said, reserve candidate hero as well. I think it comes down between these three at the top. Maybe DeRozan, but more likely these three. And I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown because he's also giving it to you on the defensive end as well. All right, so that is our backcourt in the East. Now let's go to the front court, which gets a little bit easier, but there is one big decision to make. So Jason Tatum is the MVP right now, in my opinion. He's going in 100%. So we do have two Celtics there in the starting five, and they've been playing a little bit worse as of late. Definitely their worst basketball of the whole season. So I think Tatum is a lock to be an all-star starter, and I think Jaylen Brown is somebody that could be pushed out if then maybe Celtics fall behind, they fall behind the Bucks, which they did, and then maybe some other teams as well. But I think Tatum is 100% getting in here. I don't think me putting Jaylen Brown in there before affects this at all. Giannis is getting in my opinion, and it really comes down to this. This is going to be a heavily debatable decision here. KD versus Joel Embiid for that last All-Star starter spot. There's nobody else in consideration. There are four deserving players of this, and they're not going to move one of them to guard. I don't think Tatum will be moved to guard. So it's tough. It's do you prefer KD or do you prefer Joel Embiid? And I'm actually maybe going to surprise some people, and I'm going to go Kevin Durant with the last spot. So if you ask me the day before the All-Star game, or the day before these rosters come out or these players are chosen, I would have to make a different decision. I know Embiid's missed a little bit of time this season. The Nets, as of last night, had a better record. Yeah, it's by 2 games. Doesn't really mean much for this. But I think Kevin Durant has really saved this Brooklyn Nets season because it started off as a dumpster fire. You had the whole coach firing with Steve Nash. You had Ben Simmons just kind of not doing much to start the year. You had the Kyrie suspension. But Kevin Durant just didn't stop playing basketball, and he is averaging 30 points this season. Embiid might have slightly better statistical numbers, but I'm really going to leave out somebody that's averaging 33 points. Oh, that's tough. Oh my god, that's really tough. You would think that's going to drop below 33. So yeah, if you put Embiid in over KD, perfectly fine by me. I think I had MVP, or I had Embiid as my preseason MVP pick. So I'm not hating on Embiid with this. I'm just going Kevin Durant at the moment. Like I said, the day before the rosters come out, if Embiid is still averaging these numbers, I would put him in. But we've just seen a little bit more from Kevin Durant this year. Around 10 games more that I'm going to put KD there. We'll see though. This is tough. Like, I would love to know who you guys are picking, because I'm assuming everybody's gonna have Tatum and Giannis, but do you have KD or Embiid for that final spot? So those are my Eastern Conference starters: Mitchell, Brown, Tatum, Giannis, and Durant. All right, on to the Western Conference now. So this is also really tough in the guard sense, because unlike the East, there's 6 guys that deserve this. Probably 6 freaking players that I gotta choose from. Just the way Luka's playing this year, he's number 1. And I honestly think, oh my god, it's tough, because like you're gonna tell me like 2 weeks ago, yeah, Booker or Ja are not gonna be all-star starters. Lillard's having an incredible year. Steph is having a historic shooting season, but he got hurt. I think the season that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is having warrants him to be here with the second guard spot. This is where I said team success does not matter, because if it did, you'd have Booker, you'd have Ja, you'd even have Lillard in here. I mean, because the Warriors haven't been that great. And like even Luka, like the Mavericks haven't been that great this season. But the way Shai and Luka are playing this season have been phenomenal. They are no slouches to their team. They're not the reason why they're hovering around 500 or below 500. But yeah, if Steph ends up playing like a decent amount of games, because I don't know when he's coming back. If he plays a decent amount of games, by the time these rosters are selected, it's going to be up for debate, and I think he would get in over Shai, in my opinion. But I think that these are the 3 if Steph hits the game threshold. If not, Ja and Booker are right there, even Lillard as well. It's going to be tough. There's going to be some snubs this year from the starters. Usually the starters, people don't have too many disagreements with. Maybe one here and there. Maybe it's an Eastern Conference card. Like, should have been Kyle Lowry. Should have been somebody like that. This year, though, it's going to be tough. The Eastern Conference front court with one of most likely KD or Embiid getting left off. Hey, maybe it's Giannis or Tatum. And then in the Western Conference with the guards, one of those, or 4 of those guards are not going to be an all-star starter. So let's go on here to the Western Conference front court. Also, hella tough, because AD, clear front court player, is out indefinitely, or he's at least out for a whole month, which I think is around 12 games. He's played about 25 right now. I don't know. I think around then, like, the all-star teams would be announced, or shortly after, so he's going to probably play under 30 games. It's tough. Jokic is a guarantee, in my opinion. He's been picking it up as of late. He had that crazy 20-plus rebound stat line the other night. I think the best passer in the NBA, in my opinion, so he's going in there. And then I think what it comes down to, it's tough. Because I think right now I'm not going to put AD in. Just like if the season, or if they were selected today, he'd get in. But I don't think he will have enough games, so I'm not going to put him in. Same reason I didn't have Steph in. Same reason I didn't have Embiid in. There's like an injury thing here. I'm going to have Zion and LeBron get those last 2 spots. I think if AD does hit the games played where it doesn't look like he's only played 21 games by the time these are announced, I would give it to him over Zion. Yeah, I'd give it to LeBron because it's the All-Star game. I want LeBron starting in the All-Star game. I'm not even a LeBron fan like that, but he's going to make it over Zion. But hey, if AD doesn't make it, Zion is as hyped right now as like LeBron is. Well, not really, but he's had the hype, and this would be, I think, the front court in my opinion. I think this is actually really easy if AD's knocked out. I think Jokic will be a lock. I think if AD hits the games, he'll be a lock. LeBron and Zion will be a debate. I think they will give it to Zion just because there's already another Laker. The Pelicans are one of the better teams in the Western Conference, and Zion's having just as good of a season as LeBron. I don't think anybody down here is going to make it, even though Keldon Johnson's had some good seasons, or a good season. Good games in the season. Jeremy Grant, Markkanen, shout out to Markkanen this year. George, yeah, this one was fairly easy if you take AD out. Like I said, I would probably take LeBron out and put AD in, or no. Yeah, maybe I'd do the 2 Lakers and Jokic if AD was going to play. So those are my all-star starters. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you had the same kind of mindset, or did you have AD in here? Did you have Curry in over Shai? Did you have Embiid in over Durant? And then, yeah, did you also take Trae Young or Kyrie Irving over Jaylen Brown? Please let me know down below. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.